Selena, I'm going to turn it to you.
Okay, sounds good. All right, my name is Selena Shepard, and I've been a teacher for about 21 years, my third year as a coach. And I live here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm born and raised, and I'm excited to teach you all about We Will Write, the social writing game that engages students in writing. And you will be amazed at the participation that the students have. So what I'm going to do before I even explain what We Will Write is, we're going to actually go through a simulation as if you were the students. So I might give everybody should we give them like 5 more minutes before we start?
Yeah, let's give them
Okay.
a couple more minutes.
Why don't the rest of us, go ahead and introduce ourselves. Janae, I'll let you start.
Sorry, my name is Jamie Nakuchi, and I am the coordinator for New Mexico UDL. Go ahead, Becky.
Hi, everyone. I'm Becky Thomas, and I'm in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Jen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Armstrong, and I'm super excited to be here with you guys tonight. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm also part of the NM UDL team. Candace.
Hello, everybody. I'm Candace Forg, and I'm part of this lovely New Mexico UDL team, and we are excited to share another resource with you guys tonight. Thank you for joining us. I don't know. I think that's all of us right now.
I think so too.
Okay.
All right. Again, if you've just jumped in, my name is Selena Shepard, and I will be leading the cafe tonight. And we will be learning about We Will Write. It's a writing gaming platform. I believe when you first sign in, you get 3 months premium, and then there is a free version as well. And today you are going to be the students. So what I would like you to do is in the chat, I believe Rebecca is going to drop in. It says join, We Will Write. Did you drop that in, Rebecca?
Oh, I dropped the accessible PDF first, but now here's the We Will Write coming next.
Yes. And then also Rebecca dropped this in if you want to grab it through the link or if you want to grab it with your phone. This is the accessible PDF. We like to give this to everyone. So those of you that learn best, when you have it in front of you, you know what to expect, what's coming next. And you have that at your fingertips. If you do take the QR code and you open it up on your phone, if you're on an iPhone, you can drop the little button that's like a paper with an arrow to send it to your email so you have a safe place to save it. And in a minute, I will get you the pin up here. I just want to make sure everybody has it up and running. Our goals for tonight will be to engage writers in a competition with teachers around New Mexico and explore the platform and develop a possible way to embed writing into your content through We Will Write. And we'll go into why We Will Write after you get to experience it. All right, I'm going to click out of my... All right. Here is the code 398927. Let me go ahead and make this bigger here. Again, the code is 398927. And I tell the kids you have to use the name that your teacher knows you by because you will have access to all their writing at the end. I'm not sure how many people are in the room. Do you guys know?
There's about 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 other than us.
Okay.
If I counted right.
So once everybody is logged in, when we start the game, you will be placed into anonymous groups. And when I say anonymous, that means no one else will know what group you belong to. Now, in a normal classroom setting, I would tell the kids you're sitting next to, please don't tell tell your neighbor who you or what group you belong to, because we want to keep it anonymous. But it is not anonymous to the teacher. So if students are inappropriate or they're not participating, it will flag the teacher so you know what's going on as well. So you get a lot of, I wouldn't say control, but you get a lot of transparency, I guess, of what they're doing. All right. And coaches, you can play along too. Again, I ask students to use their name that the teacher knows them by. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and start. So there will be 3 groups. And again, you are the only person that knows what group you are in. So your name might be here, but you won't be able to see any of the other participants in that group. So I'm going to pause here just to kind of talk about it. So you're going to have 3 writing challenges. They will be of different genre, which is great because in a normal classroom setting, we spend like 3 months on informational and then a three months on, oh gosh, someone chime in. Oh, what's another? It's not coming, a biography or whatever it might be. You spend so much time. And what's cool about We Will Write is you can use this as a bell ringer or 3 times a week, and they're writing 3 to 4 different genres. All right. So here you will have 3 minutes to write about a November morning. You're going to describe the atmosphere. So, and it's going to be vivid writing. So you can hear it's descriptive, vivid. To help you, what do you see, feel, smell, and hear? When you get to the writing platform, you're going to see the writing part, and on one side, it's going to have a question mark. You can click on that to get hints to help you write. On the other side, you'll see the animal of your group, and there you can click on to see what your group members are writing, but again, they are anonymous. So go ahead and begin. And as the teacher, I can see how many words have been written so far. And you can also toggle back to the Zoom to see kind of the timer.
I'm sorry, I joined late. So
here's the pin right here. And
okay,
and Rebecca will put the link in there where to join.
perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
I just dropped the link in the chat. Sorry, I was writing and got distracted with my job.
And even if you miss this part, you'll get the feel for the next one. But so far, you guys have written 215 words. This is great data for your classroom. And in a classroom setting, students are typing away. When I used this back last December with the beta version, I've never heard kids hit their computers so hard, like the typing and the pecking, because they were so eager to type. And Jennifer and Rebecca can attest that. They've seen it in action as well, even with adults. You have about 31 seconds. About 10 seconds. And if you don't finish, it's okay. All right, please self-assess, do a self-reflection. And now you're going to read and vote. So you will see two passages pop up, and you're going to open them up, read them both, and then pick your favorite one. Again, this is why we don't want kids saying, "Hey, I'm in the tiger, I'm a buffalo." Because we want it to stay anonymous, so they're voting for the writing and not their friends. All right, now if you will move back to the Zoom, I don't know if you've had a split screen, but if you'll come back to the Zoom, I'm going to read the three top from each group. Now you'll see here, this is a way to replace it. We've had experience where the kids were writing just like 6, 7, 6, 7 and being silly. So we removed it and then put another one that was up. So here as the teacher, this would be on your Promethean board or your overhead, not the overhead projector, but yeah, I guess it is overhead projector. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Maybe, come on. Let's work here. All right. A cool, foggy morning, perfect for a turkey hunt, just in time for Thanksgiving. The air is crisp and fresh. I hear the leaves crunching beneath my feet. So what's cool is you're reading it out loud for the students, but then it will also tell the students what they did well. So they used adjectives. Even if you haven't taught adjectives, here's a perfect way to put it into a quick mini lesson. So adjectives describe the verb, and they do a good job with that. Now, this is also a time to give pointers, so we could pretend there wasn't any periods. I could say, but I do see you're missing periods at the end of your sentence. So you can give positive feedback with one constructive feedback, and kids don't have to wait a month for you to grade their 5-paragraph essay. So it's immediate feedback, which is important. All right, group B. It's crispy, cold, and humid. It smells like pumpkin and spices. The sunlight is dim and not as brilliant as in summer, but it still warms up the air. Also does a good job with their adjectives, and they added in a simile, so we don't have to wait till April or May when we're in our poetry unit. We can show what a simile is. C. A November morning has cool, brisk air with different colors of leaves on the ground, red, yellow, brown. The wind is howling this particular morning, making those colorful leaves roll around the ground in a swirly direction. Cars can be heard driving down the street as a train can be heard in the far distance. Smoke can be seen coming from houses, and you can see that it's not finished, but it's great that you can see all that detail. And again, great adjectives, descriptive adverb, and onomatopoeia, a word that makes the sound. And my only pointer would be that we need to capitalize November as it's a proper noun. And down the street. All right, so now that you've seen all three, I'm going to go ahead and let you vote for your favorite. So you have to jump back to the We Will Write screen, toggle back there. And here we will see the results if you want to come back to the Zoom. And, oh, we have a tie between the elephant and I don't know what kind of animal that is. Do you know what that one is? All right, so our next writing. So here the kids are going to get faster. So it was almost the best Thanksgiving parade ever. What went wrong? So here you're being funny in your writing. You will have 3 minutes. Again, using that picture to help your writing. If you just joined, in the chat, there should be a link, and here's the pin. All right, you may begin. Again, if you're stuck, You can use the question mark as clues to help you start writing if you have a brain block, or click on that animal and you get a peek to what your other team members are writing. I wish this was in person because you would hear the typing.
Kendra, did you see the question in the chat, Selena? Is there a way for students to see how the app analyzed their paragraph?
No, that's when you would have to give them feedback, but at the end I'll show you how to access that, where you could have like a mini conference with them and give them some feedback. So it only analyzes the ones that get put up on the screen for the vote. But that's a great, they do take suggestions, so that's a great one. I don't know if one of you could capture that so I could send it to them. You're down to 42 seconds. We have 471 words written so far. Ten seconds. And please self-assess your writing. And now two of your group members' writings will come. Please pop up, please read and vote. And if you'll come back to the Zoom screen, we'll have the top three. Oh. Holy smokes, a turkey flying in the air. The Thanksgiving Day parade decided to take flight and ending up in space. Watch out for the flying turkey. I wonder if any other balloons have joined in the space parade. The balloon handlers thought they were going to see Santa and not the entire world. Wow, oh wow. So it shows, again, hyperbole. That's a lot of gross exaggeration, right? Inner thoughts. So again, that's maybe something we don't teach till the end of the year. So it brings it back out of isolation. And again, if there was anything that you might want to add, like you need quotes, if you have dialogue, whatever may be on that one. All right. Everything started off smoothly. All of the balloons were lined up perfectly, and the parade was ready to head out. Then suddenly a loud boom and thunder cracked in the distance, and then the downpour started. The parade was stuck indoors. So descriptive adverb, adjectives, onomatopoeia, turning point. So using those transitions, and it leaves a cliffhanger. So again, you get to introduce these things at all points throughout the year instead of in isolated times throughout the year. It started out perfectly. A beautiful crisp morning with a few fall leaves still clinging to the trees. I was ready with my flute and the honor marching band. The drums started, everyone tuned up, and we were ready. Everything was perfect until we realized that we were marching behind the rodeo team with all their beautiful horses. Beautiful from the front, that is. As we marched, well, you can just imagine. I tried to avoid it all, but that's pretty funny. So adjectives, indirect thoughts, a turning point, and a cliffhanger again. All right. So I'm going to let you vote. And then if you come back to the screen, you can see who is ahead. Putting that, I don't know what animal that is. Do you guys know? Is it a bull?
Call him an ox.
An
or a
ox.
bull.
Okay. Okay. All right. And this will be our third and final one for the evening. Time for the legendary pumpkin pie dessert. But what happened here? So this is imaginative writing. And you will have 4 minutes. And again, remember the question mark is for pointers, hints, clues, or you can click on the animal to see what your teammates are writing. And I always tell the kids, we never let you look at somebody else's paper. This is your chance to take a peek. You'll notice that each writing, the time has gone up a little bit. We're at 2 minutes and 421 words have been written. 24 seconds, 682 words. Right, go ahead and self-assess. And get ready to read and vote. Rebecca, does it have the read aloud up there? Is it giving you that option?
It doesn't, but I think if we exit full screen, that's when it shows.
Okay, and without the tool, remember they put the
Oh yeah, sorry. The tool is when you exit full screen. Nope, I don't have it.
Okay. All right. We will write, did put accessibility, they put their own read aloud tool in it, and for some reason it's not popping up for us. I don't know if I have to turn it on each time, but for your students that need that tool, it is there. It may be something I have to turn on each time. I don't know. All right, so if you want to toggle back to the Zoom screen, I'll go ahead and read the three top. So if you notice, the writing has become more, there's more text. Each person is improving each time. So hopefully you've made that observation. I had been smelling the heavenly scents from the kitchen all day. Grandma was baking her legendary pumpkin pie. I helped her roll the crust. No cans for her. We made our own pie filling and added. Let me start. We made our own pie filling and added cream to make it very rich. Finally, it was done, baked to perfection, with just a bit of a brown around the edge of the crust. We left it to cool on the table and sat in the living room waiting and anticipating. We realized that no one knew where her little obnoxious dog was. But then, how did she get up on that table? So you've got adjective, indirect thoughts, cliffhanger, and this really puts up this paragraph really put a picture in my head. So I honestly couldn't believe the whole thing was gone. I didn't think dogs even liked pumpkin. The little pug has eaten nonstop since my sister brought him home. Anytime he is alone for more than a minute, it seems like he's on the run and headed for the kitchen in search of a new treat. This time, he actually got to our mom's legendary pumpkin pie. We shouldn't have named him Pump. So, good inner thoughts, adjectives, and descriptive adverbs. I wouldn't say those. Real descriptive, but again, you can, if you don't agree with something or you want to add to like, why would this be descriptive? You could do that as well. All right. Everyone was too full. They decided to wait for their food to settle, and I was so glad because I realized that instead of cinnamon, I accidentally used chili powder. It was too late to do anything, but wait and hope that no one noticed. Well, they did notice, but to my surprise, they loved it. They asked me where I learned to bake like this and asked me to share my recipe. I guess we do live in New Mexico, where spicy is preferred. Whew, thank goodness. That's great. These are great. Indirect thoughts, indirect speech, and turning points. And again, you can add more of your own thoughts and telling them where they could correct things. All right, go ahead and do your vote. And here are the results. So then you have the kids clapping and they're all talking, they're excited. And then it will put up everybody's texts on the board. And if you have time, you could go through it, but that's a lot. Or you could do a gallery walk and just leave it up there while kids are working and they can move the cursor up and down. All right, I'm going to go ahead and exit these. All right, so this is what the original set looked like. I took out the fourth one just for time's sake. But when you sign in to read and write, are there any questions before I kind of jump into the teacher side? You can just unmute. All right, let's do a quick reflection. What did you enjoy the most about that? And you can unmute, you don't have to, or if you want to put it in the chat.
So I've used this system before and I really like it, but I guess I haven't used it since they started that feature on the bottom where you can do like look for adjective and cliffhangers. I really enjoy that aspect because it brings in, like you said, a lot more learning. So I don't know if I just missed it before, if I haven't used it in a while, but I do know that the students love this. And I think that would just really help you add on to either previously learned material or upcoming material.
Absolutely, giving some background knowledge, and it gives kids those that immediate feedback, and which they thrive for. They want to know how they did right away, so it gives them that. And then it looks like let me open the chat here. Creativity took some time to get used to, but I really enjoy it. It might help some reluctant writers. It challenges the students. And so what's really cool too, like loving the writing prompts and the visuals. We were at a school in Belen where a student was struggling with the writing, the typing, and we couldn't get our tools to pop up right at that minute. So I sat with the student and scribed with him. So he told me what to write or type, and I typed for him. So that barrier wasn't there. All right. So when you first sign in to read and write, it will ask you questions, and you can discover in many ways. Let me pull this up. And you have lots of options. There's a lot to write. And here they have the different genres. So inform and explain, arguments and opinion. So you could just go in and quickly pick something. Or even if you do not teach ELA and you want to use it for science and social studies, you can filter it that way. And the way you do that is by going to find. You can pick the genre you may be looking at. So maybe you want nonfiction. Maybe you want only the upper elementary, and duration. Maybe you don't want it to take 40 minutes, 25 minutes, but that kind of breaks it down to very limited. So I don't put the time limit. I can just take away any of the options. So then you just click on it. So this is a different Thanksgiving, and you can see there's 3 challenges. If you click on it, it tells you the tips on what kind of writing, and you can see that. And if you don't want to use all 3, you just unclick it and you can start the simulation that way. Once students have done their writing, I love this part because I can go now. Does one of the coaches do mind if I open one of yours? Okay, Rebecca. I see Rebecca giving me a thumbs up. So it will give me the
I
insight.
didn't put my real name though. I didn't follow directives. I used student ABC.
Oh, did you put student? And this is actually new. This
You
part
can
is
use mine if you want.
okay. Let me see if I can find you. There you are. So this is really cool. This part is new. It gives you all the data. So how many words, text, wins, finalists, satisfaction. So if I go down to, where were you? To Janae's, and I click it open. They've changed it. Oh, where'd it go? They've changed it a little bit. I want to open it up. And I don't know if it's because I'm sharing, but I can see her writing, how she self-assessed. And her, if she added like here it says fun task, if she was a finalist, and again, how she self-assessed. And I can download this and then print it off for Janae to use as an outline to write a deeper story or an informative essay, whatever you might be writing. So they've got an outline they just did and they didn't know it. Or they can take one of these writing and turn it into a longer story or an informative essay or whatever your essay might be about. So this I think is really cool because kids don't know it. They're having fun, they're writing, and then they have part of their writing done. And you can put this into Google Classroom and they can copy and paste. And you can do that for all your students. Then you can create, if you are married to your curriculum at your school and you don't have an option, you can take that HMH curriculum or that Savas curriculum, I don't know what else is out there, and you can take some of their writing and you can make your own. So you can create a folder, like we did a point of view folder. We grabbed a picture and we were talking about writing in the different, like first person and third person. So you can create that. So it's another way to take your curriculum and enrich it and UDL it for others, for the students. Any questions on that? Here is where you can change that time setting. So if you start at 4 minutes, the next one will increase, I think, by 30 seconds, and then the next one. So that time is always important for kiddos that struggle with writing, is giving them more time. And then we'll tell you how long this session will take. All right, I'm going to come back to our slideshow, maybe. Here we go. It's taking a minute, sorry. So why is this important? It's taking a second. So this, I wanted to show like kids in action. So you can see I used the same one. It was around Thanksgiving, but everybody's engaged. And the teacher even said like students who aren't normally engaged were engaged. So here we have the writing, that question mark, and the animal, and then that self-assessment. So it's efficient. With 2 to 5 minutes for each writing challenge, teachers can assess understanding at a glance, leaving more time for student creativity and collaboration while building strong learning outcomes. So you could take their writing and turn it into a collaboration afterwards. So this could turn into like a week-long activity. Student reflection. So students complete anonymously. I think that's what's really important because they're voting for what's good writing instead of their best friend. They can reflect on their own writing. Receive targeted teacher feedback during the final round. So highlights the strengths and you can suggest areas in need of improvement. I believe it encourages motivation and growth and helps make feedback more manageable for teachers. I also think it's a great classroom management because you've got kids all kind of motivated and engaged in that. How it aligns, it integrates creative, low stakes writing with educational standards. So helping teachers meet benchmarks while fostering students' unique voices and literacy skills. It's versatile. It keeps students engaged on task. So that classroom management offers teachers flexibility to adapt to their teaching style. Clear game structure simplifies classroom management and supports classroom goals without compromise. And kids are always asking for more. And it can be done across the grade level content. I think that's it. Let me kind of leave it open. I'll stop sharing, leave it open for any questions or comments, or maybe you've had a success story that you'd like to share, and you can just unmute.
I was going to ask, I'm a special ed teacher, and a lot of my students I need speech to text, and how is that incorporated in this?
So when they're in the writing, it takes them to full screen. So if they go out of the full screen, they can open up read and write and use the read and write tool to do the speech to text, the talk and type tool. And then and I'm going to investigate again because I did turn on the accessibility, but the accessibility for it to read to you should have popped up, but it may be a feature I have to turn on each time. So they just added that about I want to say about a month ago, a month and a half ago. Let's see. Let's see. Is it Brianna? Did I say it right? I want to make sure I say it right. Yes, okay. She's seen students thrive with this writing, but they need time to process. So the pause option gives them a chance to plan their writing. Absolutely. That pause button is great. And Jamie uses it all the time as a gifted teacher. It's such a great engagement tool. Like we've had nothing but positive feedback from it. Even teachers love it when we've done it in person. So.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
I'm curious, Lena, can I ask how many people in the cafe like actually don't really enjoy writing but enjoyed the tasks today?
Sure. Is there anyone that doesn't enjoy writing? We're all teachers, we probably.
I'm curious. It'd be fun to ask students, how many of them have find a love for writing through this. I could see that happening.
So someone says they prefer writing with a pencil instead of the computer. I was going to say typewriter with the computer. So yes, I was in a classroom with Janae on Friday, and we had an activity where we were actually teaching the read and write tools, and some of the kids wanted the paper version instead, and we allowed that because that's their learning preference. And I believe that the 8 players has changed. You don't have to have 8 players now. What they do is they put a bot in there for you. So they're competing with a bot.
I don't know if this is me being picky, but I think it's a little bit odd that some of the prompts say use words to make the blind see it, use words to make the deaf hear it. Seems like a little bit, I don't know, maybe not the right way to explain it.
Yeah, they could say someone who can't see, please use words that, right?
No, I don't think they mean it like that. I think they're like meaning it like as an exaggeration, but it because like they have like a quotation mark around it.
It's more for explanatory, like making sure that you're using your 5 senses well
Right.
enough that it can be heard, smelt, felt.
Yeah, that would be great to explain it the way that you just said it. But it says use words to make the deaf hear it.
Kendra, do you mind sharing that link where you're at?
Sure.
So
Do you want me to share my screen or just?
no, just put the link to,
Sure.
yeah, thank you.
Where you're at. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It's under, I did it for the younger kids for 1st through 3rd grade. Um,
And we can give them that feedback because they're
and I think it's great, like what Brianna was saying about like use your senses and, describe the sounds and the smells and, what you see. And maybe only focusing on one sense, but seems a little bit odd to
yeah, we can write
word
up.
it.
Thank you for sharing that.
We'll write up something and send them any feedback that you have. And I'll send them an email. I think even in their platform, there's a place it says feedback at the bottom left-hand corner that we can do that. And this is something like right now, Thanksgiving, I don't know if everybody has next week off or they only have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but it's low prep, high engagement. And I know we're all kind of in that survival mode. So this is a great opportunity to try it with your students.
Well, and I think Selena, even with the littles, so if some of you are in the pre-K, K1, they can still even just give you some descriptive words. They could start with some basic writing. I feel there's a lot of ways you can modify this to meet the needs of all students, just to even spark that excitement about writing. Because how many of us, so many times, when you get to writing, they're like, oh, we don't want to write, or they come up with an excuse, or they don't know what to write about. So even if you use some of this as whole group, like I think there's multiple ways to use this within its the way we just modeled it. But also it's just a great way to spark vocabulary, conversation, all those different things that so many times um we don't necessarily get just from paper pencil writing, right?
Right. And making your own sets. So if you are in the primary, you could find pictures. You could go to AI and have it create a picture to put a couple pictures in there. There's some AI generated images. I love that. I love that. Using it and kids, the kinders and first graders not having to write full sentences, but focusing on their words.
Well, and then the gamification piece for like your middle and high school kids, and the ability to be able to like win and like race and kind of vote, but also it makes it writing seems not so laborious either, right? For our students. So you've only got this amount of time. Let's see what we can get down. So I think it helps that piece of it. So you're constantly giving different pieces of choice for it. So
And I love that you're just not stuck on one type of writing, that they're getting in this 20 minutes, you guys wrote 3 different types of writing. And can you imagine doing that 3 times a week, or even just 1 time a week where they're going to write 3 or 4 different genres? It may not be a full-on essay, but at least they're getting different types of writing in. Because I kind of isolate throughout the year. They're focusing on this topic and then this topic. So this is a great way for them to get different types of writing in.
Yeah, and from an accessibility standpoint, it's nice to see high contrast. It's nice to see large font. The prompts are engaging. And then also, if you don't have access to read and write and the speech recognition through that platform, you could have your students turn on speech recognition, the accessibility feature within their Chromebook. And that's just in the bottom right-hand corner. There's a shelf there for accessibility tools, or they could do the shortcut for speech recognition, which is search D.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Of
I did
course.
not know that about the shortcut. Well, thank you guys for coming. If you want to hang out and have other questions, we're on social media. I did not put this slide in for that, but we're on Instagram and Facebook and what am I missing? YouTube. So you can check out our different areas. We like to put up some Tip Tuesdays, different ideas for teaching strategies, different ideas. So
I dropped our email in the chat too, so if you have any questions, you guys can reach out.
all right. Well, have a great rest of your evening and a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys have the week off next week, so it's only a few more days.